Welcome to Talk About Topeka. I'm Chris Schultz. We're saving on blimp fuel tonight by having the guests come to us. It's Jim Ramos, manager of the Toy Store. It's a local shop specializing in educational toys, and I wholeheartedly support anything that gets kids off of Xbox Live. There's been a lot of questions about the Kansas Avenue project, so after the break, we'll show you how I was able to speak with city officials and project planners. They recently held an open house to explain to citizens and business owners exactly what the process would entail. There's a great deal of optimism about funds being raised from the private sector for public enhancements. That's why I wanted to look beyond some of the easily misconstrued headlines of the past and bring you all the answers straight from the officials so you can judge for yourself. Tonight's episode was sponsored by the WIBW channels and Field of Greens, downtown's best lunch spot for salad, soup, and sandwiches. And it all starts right now. Well, joining me in the studio is the manager of the Toy Store. How you doing? This is Jim Ramos.
Great. How you doing, Chris?
I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful. Thanks for joining us. Now, you guys have got a great store. I don't know if anybody, if you haven't been to the Toy Store, you need to go see this guy down at the Toy Store. Tell us where you're at.
We're right at 5300 Southwest 21st Street, right off of 21st and Fairlawn. It's a blast. It's actually the largest independent toy store in the country. So we have a lot of square footage, 20,000 square feet.
It's absolutely huge. I mean, that's very, very cool. And what are the kind of toys, like what sets you guys apart? Obviously, you're a locally owned establishment, so that obviously makes you pretty cool in my book, but what sets you apart from the big box retailer toy stores?
Well, Margaret Warner actually is the owner of both stores. We have one here in Topeka and then one in Lawrence. Her family, her mother and father, started the toy store in 1976. And then really she has now taken it over and she owns both stores. And the thing that I think sets us apart is that she really takes great pride and excitement out of hand selecting all the toys that go into the toy store. What really excited me about coming to work for her is the painstaking effort that she does is in selecting those, and she has very few battery operated, very few electronic. She really, really wants the open-ended creativity, toys that will challenge a child's creativity, and really takes pride in getting high-quality toys into the toy store. And along with that, I think that all of her employees and team, if you will, really take on that customer service piece as well. Can you maybe get some of the toys that we have a little cheaper other places? Maybe, but we are very competitively priced, but the customer service piece is very important to her and to me and to everyone that works there.
Well, when you're not buying 200,000 units of something, I mean, that obviously is the case, but you're buying local and you're getting that personal touch there, and I think people really appreciate that. You see a lot of the same people coming back.
We do. It's very much a family. We know a lot of the customers that come into the regulars, and they know us, and then they also feel comfortable with that service and the toys that we provide. So it very much becomes a relationship as well, and a lot of fun. It's an experience when you come there as opposed to just coming in and shopping.
Sure. And what's it like for being the largest independently owned toy store? What's it like being here in Topeka?
It's wonderful. Again, knowing the families that come in, again, Margaret, the owner, when she was selling the idea to me to coming to work for, I love the fact that some of the same families, I mean, sometimes 2 and 3 generations of families have come to the toy store. And so we've known, the kids, the grandkids and all that come in. It's wonderful. It's a great feeling.
And it's wonderful to know, because when I was a little kid, I used to go down to the toy store, which was on Kansas Avenue, where they had one down here. And then you kind of grew and expanded. And the expansion from that time, I think, is just wonderful. You've seen a small business that started, with humble beginnings and just kind of grew, and now you're the biggest one in the country.
In fact, up until I think it was 96, if I'm not mistaken, Margaret was actually the only employee.
Really?
And she went and hired a couple more people. One of who still works for us, Janet Metz, she works for us, and she's been with us years and years and years. She saw the whole progression. Like you said, it started downtown here on Kansas Avenue, and then as she outgrew that, went out to the Fairlawn Plaza Mall. When our current location came up for sale, we moved there, I think, about 7-8 years ago, to the, again, 20,000 square feet and about 18,000 different items in the store.
Yeah.
So it really has grown a lot, and it's a lot of fun.
I think the hard part about if I worked there would be that I'd be at Taco Villa right around the corner all the time because it's a great spot.
You bet. Lunch is always taken care of.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You got some great places over there, and another locally owned business right there in that little neighborhood. So,
and we take great pride in that. I mean, it's fun. Being born and raised in Topeka myself, it's fun and nice to work in a Topeka-based business, an independently owned business.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of challenges, of course, with that, but especially in a market that is so dominated by the big box stores. I mean, that would be such a challenge, and it's another reason that you guys need to go out when you're making your purchases. When you're deciding where you're going to shop, you shop local first because folks like Jim, folks like me, folks like Margaret, we really appreciate it. And it's just a good feeling.
And very few places will let you wear a propeller on their head.
That's right. Well, I think you're rocking the propeller out.
I'm telling you, it's my thing, and so it's sticking. Now my kids, it's funny because you bring this up. My kids actually hate the fact that I work there. They loved it at first, but now they have to go to school, and I get to go play with toys all day. It's great.
You may possibly have the coolest job ever.
I'm telling you, it's my dream job. I'm loving it. We're rocking it out.
Well, what are some of the lines of toys that are really popular at the toy store?
Well, there's a lot that are popular. I think one of our biggest sellers is the Stomp Rocket, and we have tons of Legos. Probably one of the biggest supplier of Legos.
Now, what is this? What is the Stomp Rocket?
The Stomp Rocket is so cool. In fact, we have one open in the store that kids can try and all that. It's a little piece of foam rocket that is air propelled by when you stomp on it. There's another little side thing that you stomp on, and then the rocket goes flying. So cool. If you're a customer shopping with us and one flies by you, it's okay. It's a lot of fun. But it's great. The kids love it. We shoot it off inside. It's a blast.
Very cool. Very cool. And of course Legos.
Legos. We have
tons
of Legos. Yeah. In fact, we're getting. Annually we do a Lego contest. That's actually Lego provides the prizes for it, and it's all broken down into age categories. And it's just the prizes are nice, but it's more about displaying the creativity. And one of the things that we've also got involved with is the First Friday Art Walk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's kind of cool because it's a real good passion of mine. But we thought that we see all these different galleries going on in the city. It's great, but we wanted to add that kid touch. So now we have kids providing art, and we're trying to and get the kids to come out and start getting used to coming into those types of events.
Yeah.
So no wine and hors d'oeuvres there. We do milk and cookies.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a place I want to be for that.
Right?
No, that's very cool. Start them young. We've talked to the Noto folks, and we've been seeing what's going on over there. And the best way to probably keep that going is to start young.
You bet. You bet. And so we're really happy to be involved with that as well. And we just started. We're going to continue that on a monthly basis and try to be involved.
That's very cool. And what kind of experience would someone who's walking through the front door, what do you want them to experience? What do you want them to see?
That's an easy one, magic. The customer service piece, yes, but we provide even more so. We want that touch to where they're not afraid to touch some of the things, to be demoing some of the toys that we have. We want them to have an experience as opposed to just coming in and shopping. So we do that by, again, all of the people that come to work for us not only create resumes. We don't even have applications. We have them submit resumes. The next step before they get hired is we have them do a creative resume. So, which can be anything. It could be a Lego creation, it could be a pop-up book that they created, it could be a drawing, but something that's going to tell us about them.
Sure.
So the people that we hire are not afraid to be creative and very personable and get to know, again, the clientele that come in there. We want to make it magic.
Yeah, and you also do like events. You'll have aside from the First Friday Art Walk, you have like story times and things like that there. Tell us a little bit about how that works.
We do that on a regular basis, story times. We have different artists coming in to talk, but we also have some of our employees that like it to read to the kids. We'll do that as well and kind of mix both together. We do kidtivities throughout the year. Mother's Day is a big one, but throughout the year we try to bring them in so they can do, whether it be a card, whether it be a little art creation that we've seen done and we want to do, and we try to make them as mostly as possible free of charge. Again, just to keep honing that creativity of the child. and kind of give back to the community as well.
I think that's wonderful, and that's another reason why you should be supporting the toy stores and just keep it local, folks. That's what we're here in Topeka. Our brothers, sisters, mothers, uncles, cousins, nephews, they're all working locally. Everybody knows somebody who's working locally here, and it just helps move the progress of our city forward when we can embrace that, and the toy store is a great way to start doing that, folks. So go shop at the toy store. Go see Jim Ramos. He'll be there to greet you, right, Jim?
You bet. You come see us, and always happy to have you.
All right. So, Jim, thank you so much for joining us. I can't let you go until we do the notorious lightning round, though.
All right,
we haven't done it in a little while, so we're bringing it back for you. All right. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock, ask you these questions, and see what comes to your head first here.
Okay.
All right? 60 seconds. Go. If you could bring a dead celebrity back to life and ask them one question, who would it be and what would you ask?
Oh, dead celebrity. I would, Groucho Marx.
Ooh, good one, good one.
Don't know why, just popped into my head.
See if he liked beanies on the top of his head.
I love Groucho Marx.
Let's see, if you took a weekend staycation in Topeka, what would you do?
I would try to go to a few areas that it's very few that I haven't been to, but try to hit some places that I've never been to, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be night entertainment, whether it be day entertainment, something that I've never done.
And there's quite a few things to choose from.
There are
That's
things.
right. You can find out about those things on our website at talkabouttopeka.com.
I'll go there right away.
Jim, what was your first job?
My first job was working at a Dairy Queen over on 6th and Branner. Probably spent more than I made, but it could be that. That was my very first job.
Let's see, do you prefer cats or dogs?
I prefer dogs,
All
but I have
right.
3 cats.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I know, right?
In your opinion, what was the greatest movie ever made?
Ever made. E.T.
All right, and
Love E.T.
our time is up, but what is your favorite television show to watch every Tuesday night at 9:30 on my TV?
That would be, Talk About Topeka.
Hey, there you go. Folks, get out and go see the toy store, go see Jim, and have a great time. Well, thank you, Jim.
Chris, thank you.
I'm Chris Schultz, and of course I'm talking about Topeka. Today, I am talking about Kansas Avenue, and I'm talking along with city officials and architects, designers who've put together a plan. There was an open house that citizens can go find out what's going on. We took our cameras, and this is what we got.
This is an open house that the city has put together to let the public realize what's going to be happening with the downtown project. We want to make sure everybody understands the scope of it, the great opportunity this presents for downtown, and the timeline for getting it done. I think it's been going great. The council did approve the funding for the infrastructure. We were very pleased about that because the infrastructure down here is very old and really needs to be updated. We are now in the fundraising effort for the enhancements that will be funded by the private sector, and we're very pleased at the response towards the goal that we're trying to establish. We'll see a lot of changes in the look of downtown. We'll narrow the number of lanes to 3. We'll expand the sidewalk for a more pedestrian-friendly atmosphere. We will have pocket parks, pavilions, mid-block arches, lots of things that will bring a new look to downtown, as well as help us celebrate our history and our culture.
This plan has really been in the works for a few years now. It's kind of started as a grassroots effort actually in this very space that we're in. I think back in 2010 was when all the original design charrettes were held, and people came together and talked about what they wanted for downtown Topeka, and it's really just taken on a life of its own from there. The city, got involved, and we had a planning consultant that we worked with that came up with some great concept ideas, and then we've taken that to the next level. And what we're doing right now is the public improvement project phase. It's not the sexy piece. We're going in from 6th Street to 10th Street, and we're taking out, and replacing the street pavement that is in poor shape, the medians that are crumbling, curb and gutter that's falling apart, sidewalks that are cracked and hard to walk on, and all those sorts of things. And utilities as well, and we're improving it, and we're replacing and fixing the bones, as it were.
It looks like the people involved have really worked with local businesses and are continuing to work with them to understand their needs as the project goes on. The project's really exciting, but it's only gonna work, if we can work together with everyone that's involved. And so it looks like a lot of work's been put into establishing that trust with businesses. And so that's been really cool to see. And I know they're gonna continue to work on that. And just to see the cool ideas there's still that energy out there, and there's still lots of cool concepts that are out there for streetscape ideas, things to be financed with private financing, and it sounds like private fundraising is going really well. So I'm excited to see that those ideas are still there and that we're still making great progress on making those happen.
What I've been seeing is the new work is just a lot of detail by the engineering types who, now that it's absolutely a go, are getting down and looking at where those gas lines are and those water lines are and the trolley rails, and figuring out exactly how they're going to pace this project to get the work underground up to the surface done. That's what I'm seeing. And then the conceptual things that have been here, what I'm hearing is people talking also about great success with fundraising from the private sector and a lot of excitement there. I'm hearing a lot of good questions about, so exactly how are you going to handle the parking, and what exactly are we going to do again about keeping the businesses open all the time? And people bringing forward refreshing on the ideas and conversations that have been happening steadily over the last 2 years, so that hopefully when this all starts to go, we'll do even better than all those ideas.
Well, what's been cool for me is to kind of see things start to kind of come to fruition, at least on paper, and see a lot of things start to come together that have been kind of the result and the culmination of a lot of talking, a lot of discussions over the past really year of discussion about what we want downtown to look like, and see some concepts start to formalize, and I'm seeing a lot of what we've talked about reflected in those concepts, so that's always an exciting thing. I think people have always been excited. I think that excitement's built the further we've gone along in the process, and I think every time we have something like this that reminds people, that we're taking that next step, I think just builds excitement even more. And so I think that there's a lot of enthusiasm to capture, and I think every time we continue to get out there in the community and talk about it, we can just capitalize on that even more. So I think once things move along even further, we'll just continue to build on the excitement that's been there.
Well, I think there's still a lot of wide open eyes. How is this actually going to look? When it went through the council at the final time, dollars had emerged, things were much clearer, and so the fundamentals that the council approved was we're going to go all the way from 6th to 10th Street. We're going to be very thoughtful of everyone who's there the whole time. We want downtown to thrive, and the city is going to do the stuff that's under the ground up to the surface, and the private sector is going to do the amenities.
Naturally, we're trying to make sure that the project moves along at a good pace. This is the city's project, so they're in charge, but we're helping any way that we can. We're working with the downtown businesses to let them know what's going to happen. We're helping to set up meetings with the city so that they can be informed, ask any questions that they want, and to make sure that they're as knowledgeable about this as possible. We're very involved in the fundraising effort, and of course downtown Topeka is in charge of the Business Improvement District, so we're very involved in making sure downtown looks as good as it can, promote it, bring the types of businesses that will be successful downtown, and just make downtown a place we can all be proud of.
In downtown Topeka, I mean, it's the core, it's the heart, and the people who come down here and have their businesses, I mean, they're the heart and soul of Topeka. So we understand that. So what we've been doing here in the past few weeks is we're getting underway with the project. We've got a consultant on board who's doing the design planning, doing all the assessments and utility studies and traffic analysis. But we're also going up and down and talking to business owners, merchants, shopkeepers, banks, the major corporations who are down here. And we want their feedback. We want them to know, okay, here's what's going to happen. I mean, we're going to have a construction project. It's always a disruption. But tell us what we need to know about your business, your day-to-day operation, that we can incorporate that into our construction planning and make the impact, to try and mitigate that as much as possible. So, and we've been getting great feedback. I mean, first of all, people are just happy that, we're engaging and talking. this early in the process, and that's great, and I'm happy to hear that. And then they're telling us, it's important that we have access. Our customers, need to be able to get down, and we get that. So we're taking that into our planning process, and we're going to sequence things so that we can get, traffic, one direction, one lane open in each direction. During construction, we'll work on the east side and leave the west open, for example, and then we'll flip. We're going to keep, sidewalks right up against the buildings open as late as possible during construction, so that pedestrians can get to those storefronts. And then when we get to the wrap-up stages where we're going to finish those pieces, we're going to do it in a manner that we can phase it in as painlessly as possible, step by step. So we believe getting involved this early, talking, engaging, listening, and taking all that into account is going to make for a successful project, because we're still a few months away. Obviously, next spring seems like it's a long way off, but we want to lay the foundation now to have a successful project.
Kansas Avenue offers opportunity to do so much. Everything from outdoor concerts and festivals, farmers market, open market kind of things, to even things like pub crawls and things like business after hours, some cool events that can bring people from all over the community together, which is, I think, the point of a downtown, is to have a central gathering place for people to come. And I think Kansas Avenue offers a great opportunity to do that with such versatile space to offer those kind of opportunities.
We need to have fun with it. Usually that doesn't come in the same phrase with major construction project. But I would say we need to have fun with it. People want that process to be fun and productive, and then set the stage for moving forward. Get in, get out, and move forward.
Thanks again to Jim Ramos and the folks who took the time to talk to us at the Kansas Avenue Open House. This episode was sponsored by the WIBW channels and Field of Greens, downtown's best lunch spot for salad, soup, and sandwiches. Be sure to check out our website and Facebook, which, by the way, has a way more thorough spying program than the NSA. And join us next week for more guests, fun, and freckles. I really got to stay out of the sun.